Bender to the outside. Bender's in, and they're off. Quick start for our Shining Light in the center of the course, up to take the lead. Explain This Audit is down at the rail, and in between them, Oncoming is third. Then Bender fourth, 2 lengths off the leader. Rim Protector and General Mathis, they are crawling by the stands the first time. Very slow pace for our Shining Light, and the favorite takes the initiative while taken snugly in hand. Oncoming is second. Bender to the outside third. Explain This Audit is down on the inside fourth. Then comes General Mathis, about 3.5 off the pace, and Rim Protector. Frankie Dettori and Our Shining Light. Galloping along, getting mild pressure now from Oncoming, and those two quicken the tempo noticeably. It's 4 back to Bender in third. At the rail, Explain This Audit, 6 lengths off the leader. He's followed by General Mathis, and then another 3 back to Rim Protector. They're heading to the half-mile pole. Our Shining Light lets it out a notch once again, leads by 2. Oncoming tried to keep him honest in second, still stays within about 1.5 lengths now. It's 2 more back to Bender, General Mathis on the far side, and Explain This Audit. Pink Silks moving through at the rail. Another 2 lengths back to Rim Protector. Around the far turn, Our Shining Light a half length in front. Oncoming, General Mathis. That was a brief bid from Explain This Audit. They're at the top of the stretch. Our Shining Light confronted and passed by General Mathis on the outside, and it's General Mathis drifting in just a touch as he takes control, opens up 1.5 lengths. Explain This Audit, resurgent along the inside of Oncoming. Our Shining Light drops out. General Mathis wins with plenty left. Second to Explain This Audit, tight photo for third between Oncoming and Rim Protector. Castle Island reset. And they're off. Sonoran and Don Corleone, the first 2 out of the gate. Xander comes away between them in third. Here's Dazzle Me Silver coming through fourth, then Castle Island, and slow starting Bring Him Home is the distant trailer. Don Corleone with a narrow advantage, testing Sonoran to the half-mile pole. They're head and head. 3 lengths back to Xander, Good Trip third. Then Dazzle Me Silver, Castle Island, and another 20 back to Bring Him Home. It's Sonoran now with the lead at the 3/8 pole, showing the way by about a half length. Don Corleone still right there with him second. Xander third. Castle Island advancing steadily fourth. 3 back to Dazzle Me Silver. Approaching the quarter pole, Don Corleone back on even terms with Sonoran. Castle Island 2 behind in third. They're at the top of the stretch. Sonoran, Don Corleone, and Castle Island on the outside. Sonoran now shakes loose. 3-length lead. On the far outside, Dazzle Me Silver starting to pick up some momentum as Castle Island and Don Corleone are battling well behind Sonoran, who's getting further and further in front. Sonoran by 7 lengths. Castle Island, Dazzle Me Silver, and Don Corleone. Naismith a little fidgety. And they're off. Beautiful start. Naismith and What a Dude are going to vie for the early lead. On the far outside, here's Rosenquist now coming up quicker than both, and Rosenquist takes the lead as Naismith moves into second. What a Dude is in third. Brazen Sun in the yellow colors, a 3-wide fourth into the first turn. He's followed at the rail by Arrest, who's about 4 lengths off the pacemaker. Ko Samui is next with 6 to make up. Silent Disco, Flint Strolls second to last, and 2 more to Ko Samui. That's Algeria at the back of the field. Algeria trails. Onto the backstretch, and it's Rosenquist, the clear-cut leader. Has it by 2. Naismith is in second, followed by What a Dude third. Then comes Arrest and Koh Samui, fourth and fifth with less than a half mile to travel. A length back to the next flight, Silent Disco at the rail. Flint Stroll inching up. There goes Flint Stroll in the lime colors all the way up to fourth. He's followed by Brazen Sun, and inside of him, Algeria. Round the far turn, it's Rosenquist, who's been there throughout. On the outside, What a Dude and Flint Stroll coming after them as Naismith is the new leader. Rosenquist drops out. It's Naismith in front at the top of the stretch. A 3-wide Flint Stroll, and in between them, What a Dude. Down at the rail, Arrest is making steady progress, and from the back, Koh Samui. Coming to the 16th pole, Flint Stroll on the outside, and Arrest are nose and nose for the wire. Arrest just in front, close to home. Arrest and Flint Stroll. Flint Stroll out-bobbed Arrest. Naismith was third, then What a Dude and Koh Samui. They're in the gate. And they're off in the Tis Now Stakes. And the Chosen Vron wastes no time going to the front. Coalinga Road at the rail, Leia's Candy on the outside, and Club Cal is in between those two. The Chosen Vron races a bit off the rail, and Coalinga Road comes through his inside and is a length back second. Leia's Candy in the clear, now moves into the second spot, and Club Cal at the back. 3 lengths off front running the Chosen Vron, who's in hand past the 6 furlong pole and leading by a neck. Leia's Candy tries to put a little pressure on him second, and Coalinga Road sits 2 off the pace in third. Club Cal a length and a half behind him. 4.5 furlongs to go in the Tis Now, and it's Hector Berrios and the Chosen Vron carving out the fractions, just under a length to Leia's Candy second. Coalinga Road right there, very close in third, just a length off the pacemaker. And Club Cal is at the back, 3 furlongs out, the Chosen Vron to catch. Still doing it smoothly on the front end. Leia's Candy is a neck back second. Coalinga Road is now 3 off this pair and 2 in front of Club Cal. They have a 1/4 mile to go, and the Chosen Vron yet to be tested. Leia's Candy a length back. Now it's a length and a half. Now 2 with a furlong left to go, and the Chosen Vron turns it on, opens up, and puts them away. Just a stroll in the park. His 10th career win comes in the Tis Now Stakes. What a racehorse. The Chosen Vron sails home by 6 lengths. Leia's Candy, Coalinga Road, and Club Cal. They're in the gate, and they're off. Fast beginning for Vancouver. Blue Dog on the outside has some early speed too. At the rail, Admiral Halsey and Principe is not far behind. Up and onto the main course, and it is Vancouver with a narrow advantage. Between rivals, Dancing Rinka now moves to take second. Principe 3 wide in third. Admiral Halsey and Quality Wins the gray in hand. They're followed by Classically, Blue Dog on the outside, Admiralty Place between those two, and another 3 to Neshoba's Joy. They move into the far turn, chasing Vancouver, who has it by just under a length. Dancing Rinka is in second. Principe takes third, Admiral Halsey at the rail fourth. Then Quality Wins fifth, 3.5 lengths off the speed, 2 clear of Admiralty Place. Outside Classically, Neshoba's Joy trying to pick it up from behind. They're at the top of the stretch. Dancing Rinka takes over, opens up 2. Principe is starting to chase in second. Down at the rail, Vancouver third, coming to the 16th pole, and Dancing Rinka is opening up and long gone. Dancing Rinka jogs home by almost 5. Quality wins second. Classically third. Then Nashoba's Joy and Principe. Gory backs away. Set. And they're off. I Know Cash Flow. Jack's six-pack is hustled out, and Sunrise Journey showing natural speed at the rails. So it's Sunrise Journey just in front. Jack's six-pack is second through the opening furlong. Susie Q's brother, I Know Cash Flow right together. Then Smile for Glory, Big Talker, and outside of him, Economical. Sunrise Journey is quickest past the half-mile pole. Leads it by a length and a half. Chased by Jack's six-pack in second. I Know Cash Flow takes third. Susie Q's brother, Big Talk. Shake Loose. Sunrise Journey fights on bravely second. Six back to I Know Cash Flow in third. And it's Jack six-pack finishing the job now and opening up. Jack six-pack wins it by 3.5. Sunrise Journey second. Susie Q's brother, I Know Cash Flow, and Smile for Glory. Ava Storm completes the line. They're in the gate. And they're off. Square Fun, very quick away from the gate, as is One Arrow on the outside. And furthest out, Ava Storm. Ava Storm takes the lead. Map to My Heart now moves to take second. At the rails, Square Fun is third. Then it's One Arrow with the red cap fourth, 3 lengths off the pace. Real Fire having to steady just a touch and losing a couple of spots. Tough to handle, too. Cuban Crisis, in the meantime, moves through on the inside. They're followed by Classy, who's 5 lengths off the lead, 2 clear of Homage. That group followed by Rosie Edge, strikingly is second to last, and another 2 back to Precocious Times. Rounding the far turn, and it's Ava Storm in control, leading it by 2. Map to My Heart is in second. Cuban Crisis inches up outside of Square Fun. Classy in the orange, fanned out about 5 deep at the top of the stretch, where Ava Storm clings to the lead by a length, confronted by Cuban Crisis, who's finishing strongly now. These two arrive at the 8th pole together. Real Fire now gets clear sailing and is taking care of business on the outside. Here comes Real Fire, and Real Fire, clearly best, pulls away in the end. Photo for second strikingly came out of nowhere to be in a battle with Ava Storm, Cuban Crisis, and Precocious Times. Christie's Tiger. They're in the gate. And they're off. Bowl of Cherries broke out alertly, but it is Princess Adelaide who's a little bit quicker, and Princess Adelaide opens up a length and a half. Christie's Tiger moves into second, followed by Ute Your Honor, a clear-cut third, racing on the inside of Trouville with Bowl of Cherries between those two. Active Serendipity is at the back. Princess Adelaide, the favorite, makes her own pace, leads it by a length. Christie's Tiger in pursuit second. Ute Your Honor at the rail, only about a length and a half or so off the lead. Then Trouville on the outside, a Bowl of Cherries, who's in heavy traffic at this stage, and Active Serendipity at the back. Moving into the far turn, Princess Adelaide appears to be doing it easily. Has it 3/4 of a length to Christie's Tiger in second. Ute, Your Honor, still on hold at the rail third. Trouville is fourth. Bowl of Cherries pushed along 4 lengths off the lead. 4 clear of Active Serendipity. They're coming to the quarter pole. Princess Adelaide still to catch. Ute, Your Honor, white blinkers down at the rail. Christie's Tiger to the outside. Furthest out, Trouville. There's an 1/8 of a mile to go. And Princess Adelaide called on now. Christie's Tiger trying to close the gap, but it's a 1.5 length margin. And as they pass the 16th pole, Princess Adelaide is too strong. Princess Adelaide all the way. Wins it by a length. Christie's Tiger fired big, second best. Third to Ute, Your Honor. Fourth between Trouville and Bowl of Cherries. They're in the gate, and they're off. Quick start for Phenom with the white blinkers moving through along the inside. Aqua's C-Form Shame is up close in the early going, and Secrets Told is up there too, now taking second. Tom's Beauty settles in a good spot fourth, 5 lengths off the leader, who's sprinting along down the hill. Another couple of lengths back to Unbridled Mary, who races outside Christmas Surprise. Then it's Symphony Perfect, followed by Founder's Day, and Dance to the Music is at the back of the field. It's Phenom, who has passed the half-mile pole in charge by 2 lengths. Secrets Told is second. Aqua C-Form Shame third. Tom's Beauty at the rail, 3 lengths off the leader in fourth. Then Unbridled Mary and Christmas Surprise right together. Symphony Perfect is behind those two. And then Founder's Day, they're at the top of the stretch. And Phenom still the leader. Aqua C-Form Shame far outside. Unbridled Mary. Now Tom's Beauty is kicking into high gear, 1 from the rail. And Tom's Beauty is up to take the lead in the final 16th of a mile. Christmas Surprise running on well, as is Founder's Day on the inside. And Unbridled Mary. Tom's Beauty, another for Berrios. Unbridled Mary second. Photo for third between Founder's Day and Christmas Surprise. And then it was another photo between Phenom and Symphony Perfect. Offspring on February 23rd. Bonda MS on March 19th. George Thorogood and the Destroyers March 24th. Dane Cook March 31st. Among those that'll be playing. And they're off. Slight bobble for Bonita Leona, who nonetheless shows some early speed. Soul Sweet is coming through along the inside. Majestic Gigi is the quickest, and she's confronted immediately by La Vie. So it's Majestic Gigi and La Vie who go on. On the far outside, Never Sway with the red cap is in third. Head Start is down at the rail. Bonita Leona 1 from the rail. Drizella is next. Losing some ground now, 5 lengths in front of Soul Sweet, Roses Are Blue, and Keep Yourself Alive at the back of the field. La Vie takes the lead with 5/16 of a mile to go. Pulling a length clear of Majestic Gigi in second. They're followed by Head Start and Never Sway. 4 lengths back to Bonita Leona. They're at the top of the stretch. And La Vie puts away Majestic Gigi with a 2-length cushion. Head Start is next. Never Sway on the outside. None of the others making any headway as La Vie opens up. And it's La Vie and Giovanni Franco clear by 3. Majestic Gigi game, but it's all about La Vie. La Vie wins clearly by almost 4 lengths. Tight photo for second. That got very close. Bonita Leona was flying at Majestic Gigi. In behind them, Soul Sweet made up some late ground. And in that battle, too, Never Sway.
The word of the day is spectacular. Hi, everybody. My name is Tom Quigley, VIP player concierge. Delighted that we are back racing and delighted that you decided to join us. Why do I use the word spectacular to describe the day? Well, you just saw here in Southern California, it's a winter wonderland. Snow on the San Gabriel Mountains, the backdrop for the Great Race Place. It's going to be a great day from a visual standpoint here at the Great Race Place. Hopefully, it's a good day at the betting windows as well. It's also spectacular because tomorrow, have you seen tomorrow's card? 12 races, multiple graded stake races, and the mandatory payout in the 20-cent pick six. That is going to be a marquee day for sure. First post tomorrow will be noon. And it's also spectacular today because our seminar guest was last seen in October on this seminar. What did he do? He gave out a $48 winner on top just by watching the race replays. I'm delighted to welcome back today my good friend, Tim Downs. Tim, happy Friday. Welcome to the seminar.
Thank you, Quigley. Nice to see you again.
It's good to see you. Now, let's just talk about generalities for a minute because you watch a lot of tape.
I do.
You insist that you watch replays before you go up to the window and basically make a wager. For the novices out there, what are you looking at in general when you're watching the tape? Are you looking for subtle nuances? Are you looking for something that maybe the chart caller missed? What are you actually looking for when you watch replays?
You actually hit the nail on the head. The chart callers actually miss a lot.
And they kind of have to, right? Because they have to turn in their work real quickly. They're not going to sit and study it like professional handicappers are.
Correct. Yeah, they have so much to look at, so inevitably they're going to miss something. There's a horse running later on in the card that lost 2 or 3 lengths at the break, and it just says bumped its start or something simple like that, right? So you have to really dig in. But also I like to watch first-time starters, horses that have run one time, because a lot of times some of these trainers really don't have them quite ready to go yet.
It's an educational run.
It's an educational run, but you want to watch how the rider's riding them, how they finish, or did they get in a little trouble?
Are they passive? Are they aggressive?
Yeah.
Things of that nature?
Absolutely, because a horse's most improvement they're going to make is always going to be in their second start, pretty much all the time, except for maybe like with the Bob Baffert, who if they've had a few starts, they're probably not one of the better ones. But yeah, you're just looking for a little subtle, little trouble that the guys who make the charts miss, and isn't going to be obvious, that because the obvious stuff everybody's going to land on,
of course,
and a 10-1 is going to be 5-2. So I'm looking for the other way.
The not so obvious stuff, obviously there's more people now watching race replays. Do you see that the value is starting to diminish from watching race replays, or is the value still there?
No, it's definitely diminished over time, but I mean the game's gotten harder.
Why do you say that?
Well, the internet makes it, when back in the old days, you had to actually keep notes. I mean, I had a million VHS tapes that I'd go through and I'd have to write the dates.
Yeah.
I had to be up till 2, 3 in the morning watching tape. Now it's just push button on your computer, so they've simplified it down. And so it's a little bit different.
What do you do with first-time starters? You talked about how you like to look at first-time starters going into their second race. But when you've got a full field of well-bred maidens, do you tend to pass the race? Do you watch the workouts on xbtv.com? Do you look at trainer patterns? Like, how do you kind of approach maiden races with a lot of first-time starters?
Well, to me, a big thing is I'm looking at the horses that have run. And if I'm seeing a bunch of horses that I don't like, that's when you really start looking at the first timers, because you're going to get value with the first timers. I can guarantee you, most of you go around here today, the majority of people do not want to bet a first time starter, and they have huge value. So it's kind of what they call subtraction by deduction.
Process of elimination.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just go through and say it's a 12-horse field. 8 of them to start. If I don't like any of them, I start looking at the first timers. And of course, you got to look at, trainer patterns. I don't like to do that, but it's, some guys are 0 for 30 first time. There's a reason for that.
Tim Downs and I are going to look at all 9 races today at the Great Race Place. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the early scratches on today's card here at Santa Anita.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park. The track is fast. We are off the turf. Those races were taken off the turf earlier in the week and are reflected in today's program. Here are the early changes. In the first race, started the 50-cent early pick 5, scratch number 4, Ruby Nell. No show wagering with the scratch of number 4, Ruby Nell. The second race kicks off the early pick 4 with no program changes. We have blinker notes in race number 3. Number 8, Ashley's Sandcastle, is 2 pounds over. Turning to race 4, start of the Rainbow Pick 6. There's a jackpot carryover of $214,000. Scratch number 4, Mentirosa. Number 4, Mentirosa, out of the 4th, start of the Rainbow 6. In the 5th race, beginning of the late pick 5, we have a revised morning line off the turf. Scratch 2, Tempting Prospect. Scratch 5, Silver and Black. 2 and 5 out of the 5th, which does have a revised morning line. No super high 5 in the beginning of the late pick 5, originally scheduled on grass. Turning to the 6th, no changes. In race 7, originally scheduled for the turf, scratch number 3, Golden Temper. Scratch number 7, Big Hopes. There's no high 5 wagering in the 7th with the scratches of numbers 3 and 7. 8th race starts the Golden Hour pick 4. Scratch number 6, Impossible Task. There is no high 5 wagering in race 8. And the 9th race, beginning of the Golden Hour double, we had program scratches of 1, 6, and 7. An additional scratch of number 3, Zookeeper. No show wagering off the turf. Originally scheduled on turf to be run at a mile. Scratch numbers 1, 3, 6, and 7. The Golden Hour double starts with race 9. Enjoy your day at Santa Anita Park and Big Cap weekend here at the Great Race Place. Let's go back down to Quigley's Corner. Tom's guest today is Tim Downs.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with Tim Downs. He's had a lot of success and unfortunately a lot of failure at the betting windows as well. But that's the reality of handicapping and horse playing, and isn't it, Timmy? I mean, the peaks and valleys are severe in many cases, and you kind of have to weather the storm.
Oh, 100%. Last time I was here, I mentioned to you that I was looking at a recap of one of my days wagering, and I had made 28 wagers and only won one of them.
But you still made money for the day.
Is pathetic, but I made about $1,000 for the day,
sure,
just because of that one race that I hit. So, yeah, you're going to have way more losses in this game than wins, and you just got to know that going in. And when you're right, you have to make sure you maximize your profits.
And how do you do that? In other words, let's kind of take a step back for a minute,
Yep.
Tim. How do you decide how to make a wager on a race? Now, of course, today the card has primarily been decimated by scratches, so it's not a good example, but tomorrow's card is outstanding.
Yep.
You've looked at it. You probably have a battle plan already.
I do.
The final decision will be based upon the odds board close to post time, but what kind of goes into your mind in terms of kind of formulating bets, and maybe more importantly, what bets to make?
Well, going back to what I mentioned earlier about bad favorites or horses that I don't like, that's what I'm trying to find a race where I do not like the favorite. That's
kind of step number one.
Step number one, and then you kind of go from there, because favorites tend to get overbet, especially in the exotics. So you really want to hone in on a race where the favorite's bad, and go from there. Now I like pick 3s, pick 4s, pick 5. The pick 5 is one of the best bets out there. It's the best value, low takeout, etc. But I mean, I like hammering a straight, like a $30 pick 3, 1, 2, 3, just boom. Because like I said, if you're right, you want to make sure that you get it right and you maximize profits. You don't want to have it for buck. You want to have multiple times and smash them.
Let's say you're alive after 2 legs in that $30 pick 3 and you're sitting on a pretty good fortune, or at least a good lick.
Yep.
Will you start to hedge a little bit with some other runners, or would you just let it ride?
Probably not. I mean, I only have $30 invested. If it was a lot more, maybe, but no, I'll just probably let it rip.
Well, let's let it rip on today's seminar. Like I said, there are some scratches on today's card, and we kick things off here in race number 1, which begins the 50-cent early pick 5. This is for 3-year-old fillies, maiden special weights. We've got a field of 4 after the scratch of number 4, and the original morning line favorite in the current betting choice is number 2, Conquista, from the Bob Baffert barn, ridden by Juan Hernandez, second-time starter, going from a sprint to a route. They paid almost $1 million for this daughter of Quality Road. Thumbs up or thumbs down on the favorite here, John?
He's probably going to win. I mean, the other Baffert was exactly what you see on paper. He was under a drive the entire race, basically eased, and he's an 0 for 5 Baffert, which you don't see. I mean, if they're good, they're going to win by now, right? I mean, on the other hand, if the 2 takes back and the 1 clears and there was maybe a little something went wrong last time and they got it fixed. So my original pick was the 4 who scratched. I think that the 3 is going to soften up the 1 in here. The 5's just been running around the racetrack. Now it's John Sheriffs with Lasix. I've never gotten him right ever in my life.
Skinner comes to mind.
Yes, Skinner. Yeah, well, he finally won, but after they stopped running in grade 1s. But the 2 was okay on tape, although he did get beat at a very short price first time out. He was 30 cents on the dollar. So it's just one of those races. It's strictly going to be a jockey race. They're going to have to figure it out going into the first turn. And this would be a race that I pass on. But if I had to play, I'd probably just bet the 2.
And we're joking about John Sheriffs, but he is one of a number of Southern California trainers on the Hall of Fame ballot, hoping for induction into the Hall of Fame. I'll mention a few others as we go through today's card. Race number 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4. This time we are going 1 mile on the main track once again. For fillies and mares, $10,000 is the claiming tag. A field of 6, number 4, Righteously, from the Red Hot Jeff Mullins barn, is 8-5 on the morning line. A little bit more meat on the bone here, Tim. What are your thoughts on race 2?
Well, to me, it looks like there's quite a bit of speed in the race. I can tell you the 1 and 2 come out of the same race as well as the 6. And the 1 and 2 just ran around the racetrack 1-2. Nobody changed positions at all. It was not visually impressive, that race. The 4 is a giant question mark going 2 turns. She doesn't gallop out very far after the wire sprinting. Mullins might just be trying to, maybe do something a little different with the horse.
Shake it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, she's a multiple winner. I ended up actually on the 5 here. And the only reason is because I could definitely see some kind of a pace meltdown in here. And the 5 has proven in the past that she's able to come a little bit off the pace. She's fresh. The trainer also has the 3 in the race who's dropping from 20 down to 10, but was really bad last time. So, I made it 5-3, and like I said, I'm just kind of hoping for some kind of a pace meltdown in here. And that's where we ended up.
Now 5's 10-1 on the morning line. We'll see what the post time odds are. But would you consider stepping up to the window and just making a good old fashioned win bet on her if she's 10-1 come post time?
Absolutely. And I actually played a little small pick 5 singling her. So, and then using all in the last 2 races. So
all button never loses.
It cost me a whole $25. So we're off and running.
Race number 3, we're sprinting 5.5 furlongs on the main track. Maiden Special Weight Calbred, fillies and mares. Here's a field of 8. Morning line favorite number 2, Whimsical Air from the Mark Latt barn, is 8-5 on the morning line. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Tim, we wanted to take a look at the start for number 4, Kiss My Cat, in her last effort on January 22nd. We're going to show the head on here, and she's going to break from post position number 5, even though you see in the past performances she's listed as number 4. She actually breaks from post position number 5. Let's take a look at that head on replay for Kiss My Cat when she came out of the gate. You can see on the head on there, Tim, bam, she just basically ran right into the 3 there coming out of the gate. We're going to be able to re-cue that and watch it once again. But obviously, if you and I were in a foot race and I ran right into you, it'd probably take a little bit of the starch out of you and kind of dissuade you from competing going forward. That's more than just what the little tidbit was in the past performances.
Yeah, exactly. It says bumped at the start, 3 deep, clear. The pan shows it better, actually, instead of the head on. I mean, she was last.
Correct.
And just went right between horses and cleared in hand easy and got tired at the end. I mean, it was her first start since October of 21. She should have gotten tired after the break and the rush up.
She actually got bet that day, Tim. She was 5-2 on the morning line. As you can see, she went off at even money. So the connections thought that she would fire as well.
100%. And I understand that the horses worked well since that race. And this race is at 5.5, correct? Yeah, 5.5.
Yes.
So she gets an extra half furlong less. The 2 is 8-5. I thought she was just okay on tape. Nothing special. Just she ran exactly what it looks like on paper. The 6 has had too many starts. The 8 was nothing special.
Let me stop you there, Tim. When does a maiden have too many starts in your estimation?
Well, I mean, at some point you need to drop the horse where they're competitive, right? So, I mean, the horse is, 0 for 9.
Never seen the claiming ranks before.
And gets bet every time.
Beaten favorite 4 times.
Yeah, so, blinkers on today. I mean, who knows? This is no world beater field. I mean, I could see like the 3 or the 5 winning first-time starters for sure. But I just think that the 4 is going to clear pretty easily. She's very fast. And with the good work since she's run, that's where I'm going to end up.
Here's a statistic if you like the favorite on number 2, Whimsical Error, courtesy of Brad Free from the Racing Form, who will be my seminar guest tomorrow. From the Mark Glatt barn for maiden special weight dirt sprint fillies making their second career start, he's 5 for 13 since the summer of 2018. It's a strong category for the Glatt barn. The question becomes, what price will she be come post time? Race number 4 begins the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6. The jackpot single ticket carryover now up to $214,000. Keep in mind, as I mentioned in the opening, mandatory payout tomorrow in the 20-cent Pick 6. Everything must go on a stellar big cap day card. That will be a fun day. But first things first, race number 4, which begins today's 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6. We're sprinting 6.5 furlongs in the main track for 3-year-olds in for a $20,000 claiming tag. Scratch the 4. Take note, number 2 is a filly running against the boys. The morning line favorite on the bottom from the John Sadler barn, adding Lasix is number 6. Let him do it. John Sadler also on the Hall of Fame ballot this year. His work with Flightline certainly didn't hurt his chances. What was your impression of Flightline's career?
Incredible. I mean, I was at Del Mar Pacific Classic Day when he won by 20 or whatever. I mean, you know, and it's so funny because I went down to the paddock. I wanted to take a good look at the best horse in the world. I mean, and he's the plainest looking horse I've
with
ever
a big old
seen.
Scar on his hip as well.
It's unreal. He walked by and go, that's the greatest horse of all time. But he's just a freak. And, you know, you get those. They're just freaky athletes. You can, you know, human athletes as well. That they're, you know,
Muggsy Bogues.
Yeah.
One example.
Yeah. I mean, you just have them from time to time. And he was a machine.
He sure was. Now we're looking for a winner in race number 4, Tim. Who's it going to be?
Well, I like the 4 who scratched. There is zero speed in this race. I thought she would make the lead. So, you know, Jorge Paraban had 2. He scratched the 4, puts blinkers on the 2. I like fillies against colts, especially when they're younger. So let's end up on the 2 here.
Fair enough. 5-1 on the morning line. You've talked a lot so far in your analysis for the first 4 races, Tim, about pace analysis. I'm sure that you try and envision how the pace is going to develop out on the racetrack based upon what you see in the Racing Form.
That's huge. I mean, you have to have intuition. You got to be able to kind of see the race before it's run. And that's what you should be doing when you're looking at these races, right? You should be going, okay, this horse is going to make the lead. This one's taking back. And then you have to put the puzzle together. So that's what handicapping is all about. It's just not all black and white. You have to be a thinker as well.
Now, I've seen you sometimes where the jockeys don't follow what you think they might be able to do in the race, and your temper kind of gets the best of you.
Yeah.
How do you overcome that?
Well, here's the thing. When the gates open, it's Katie barred the door. I mean, it's out of my control, right? It's out of everybody's control.
You did the best you could.
I did the best I could based on what I had. So it's frustrating, especially when I know a horse is maybe should be on the lead, and that's his best effort, and the guy takes back out of the gate or something. It's rough, but what can you do? You just move on, you know, and I'll have a little explosion and get it out of me. And then I move on 2 minutes later.
I've seen a few of those explosions in a classic, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Race number 5 begins the 50-cent late pick 5. This race was originally scheduled for the turf. Now it's on the main track at the same distance, 1 1/8 miles. It's for Calbred maiden special weight 3-year-olds. There's 2 scratches. Scratch the 2 and the 5. The revised morning line favorite is now number 6. Here comes Georgie Boy from the Jeff Mullins barn. Now 6-5 on John White's revised morning line. Talk to us about race 5, Tim.
It's another race where my top choice is scratched. I like
Tough
the 5.
game.
It's a tough game, Quig. Those races down at Gulfstream were better than these in here. So
looks to be an astute claim. Calbred running down in South Florida. I mean,
absolutely.
Can't wager on him today, but something for down the road.
Absolutely. You know, I didn't love the trainer change beyond Safi Joseph down there. He's the top guy down there. So I don't if I was a trainer, I wouldn't want to be claiming off the guy who wins 25% of his races. But he's a Calbred. That's right. So I'm assuming that's why they did. You know, the rest of this field is just, I mean, I would end up on the 7 maybe just because he puts blinkers on. You know, and I know originally I had 5, 6, but the 6 looks kind of like a horse who likes to run second or third maybe. And there's just, again, not a lot of speed in the race. Who's going to make the lead? So they put blinkers on the 7. I hope the guy just sends and see what happens.
Here comes Georgie Boy, as we can see, has been primarily running on turf. So the dirt is a question mark. I can also tell you in his last 2 efforts in February and January here at Santa Anita, he did not change leads coming down the lane, which could be detrimental now going 1 1/8 miles on the main track. Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. 1 mile on the main track is the distance. $10,000 is the claiming tag, a field of 6. Number 2, Looking for Revenge, is 8-5 on the morning line, ridden by Edwin Maldonado. Seems to be a bit of an in and outer. Good race followed by a bad race. What do you think of this race, Tim?
Well, the 2's a tough horse. Last time he kind of got clear pretty easy. The 4 in here is a big question mark. He ran pretty good last time for 20, and they immediately drop him to 10. Usually that's a super negative.
Big red flag.
Huge. But he does have speed to soften up the 2. And then you also have the 5 coming out of sprints going long. So, what's he going to do? I can't see him taking back. How's he going to take back? I ended up on the 3. He comes out of the same race as the 2, but he had some pretty significant trouble going into the first turn. And they kind of just walked around there, and the 3 really didn't have a chance to catch the 2. But he ran pretty good. The big question mark for me would be the 6. He's a 7-time winner. How is he going to handle the dirt? He's handled it okay in the past. He's a question mark. Another one dropping from 20 to 10. It's a tough little race. I ended up on the 3.
3-2 in race number 6. Before we take a look at race number 7, Tim, a question for you. Do you believe in horses for courses? And what I mean by that is, are there horses that maybe prosper here and don't prosper at Del Mar, or vice versa? And how do you include that into your handicapping arsenal?
Oh, 100%. But again, it's one of those things where everybody can see that now. A horse might be 0 for 5 at Santa Anita, but 3 for 4 at Del Mar. Well, that's going to show up in the form. So those horses are typically going to get overbet, unless there's something maybe a little bit hidden, but that's not usually the case anymore. But for sure, horses...
for whatever reason, they like the track surface, they like that time of year.
The circumference.
Correct.
Yeah, all that. And you see horses at Del Mar perk up like out of nowhere, right?
Humans do too.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Get down there, little sun.
By the ocean, not a bad life.
Right.
Race number 7, again, originally scheduled for the turf course, but now switched to the main track. 1 mile is the distance for Calbred, 3-year-old fillies, non-winners of 1 other than. It's an allowance optional claiming race. Scratch the 3 and the 7. Leaves us with a field of 5. Doug O'Neill trains number 5, Nivan, who's also on the Hall of Fame ballot. Hopefully he will get in with the other Southern California trainers that I mentioned, as is Corey Nakatani and Kona Gold, who are long overdue for induction into the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. But first things first, number 2, Uncontrollable, adding the blinkers to trainer Michael McCarthy, is the heavy 6-5 morning line favorite here, dropping out of stakes races into a non-winners of 1. Easy game, or looking elsewhere?
She should be 6-5 off those running lines. She's been running in graded stakes. Any of those races, anybody in those races would win this race probably. But there are some big question marks in this race, right? You got the 1, Carol Lombard, never been on dirt before, and puts Lasix on, has run pretty good. The 5 is actually ran pretty good down there at Del Mar over the dirt. The 6 is a huge question mark. I wouldn't have a clue in the world what to do with him. I don't like horses. I don't like late running sprinters going long. I'm probably just going to end up singling the 2 if I do anything in any kind of the pick 6 or pick 5s and just move on from there.
Number 2, Uncontrollable, is the only runner in the field not using Lasix, but I can tell you that Andy Harrington from NationalTurf.com does like the way that she's working out in the mornings in preparation for this race. Race number 8 begins the $1 Golden Hour Pick 4, linking our last 2 races here with the last 2 races at Golden Gate. And we kick things off here in race number 8, going 1 mile on the main track. I see a common theme here in most of our races. $50,000 is the claiming tag, a field of 6 after the scratch of number 6, Impossible Task. Bold Endeavor is the 5-2 morning line favorite, but we want to watch the replay. Again, the head-on for number 4, Royal Act from the Peter Urton barn. As we show this with no audio, Tim, why did you want to show Royal Act?
Well, if you go 2 back, he ran really good. And he ran against Bold Endeavor and Order and Law. He just got brutalized basically going in the first term. And I just think that the horse gave up after that. I'd just draw a line through that race. There is a little bit of speed in here. Now here, I will say one thing. Club Aspen made the lead last time. I don't see him making the lead in this race, like not even close, actually. I don't even know how he made the lead last. He's never shown speed like that before. He didn't put blinkers on or anything. So it was, and he's drawn wide. So I think the 1's going to be very tough as well. He should be on the lead in here. The 5 is a huge question mark for me. He was really bad last time. And now they come back at the level that he got claimed at. Loves the racetrack. I guess you could draw a line through that last race, and Juan Hernandez takes the mount, so I'm sure the horse is okay. But he did not perform it. He comes out of the same race as the 1. Yeah, and you can see the one was dueling on the lead.
But listening to your analysis, even though we've got a field of 6 in race 8, it sounds like you might get involved from a wagering standpoint, depending upon the tote board. You kind of like the 1. You give a little love to the 1.
Absolutely.
You're a little sour on the Peter Miller favorite, the 5. So depending upon how the public bets the race, you might get involved simply because there's the kind of what I'm trying to get at, Tim, is you like chaos in a race. The more chaos there is in a race, the more uncertainty there is in a race, the more involved you're going to be. A lot of players don't like chaos. They think there's certainty on the racetrack, but there's no such thing. They like 1 to 5 and they're going to single it all day long.
Right.
But that's not the type of race you like. You like a race where there's a zillion question marks.
100%. And again, it goes back to you got to put the puzzle together, and it's just a thing that you kind of pick up over time watching. I don't know how many races I've watched, 1 million. I don't even know. I was trying to figure it out the other day. I think it's over 1 million. But yeah, it's just something that you have to kind of handicap the race, sit back. Sometimes I'll close my eyes and go, okay, how's this race going to be run? And just envision it running around the track. I just think the 1's going to clear here. The 4-1. If you notice, it's very interesting in here. Maybe you can answer. Do Sormo and Van Dyke have the same agent?
They do not.
Because they flip mounts around the 1-4.
Correct.
Which it's a little bit weird to me.
And a lot of things can happen.
Absolutely.
1 horse enters late, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, Sormo's been riding very well lately.
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
He's in the Hall of Fame for a reason. 100%. We're on a Hall of Fame theme, but
I guarantee you the 1 will run better today.
Okay.
Guarantee. And if he clears, he's going to be very tough.
And you got to love the rail position.
Absolutely. Just got to hope the guy sends.
We close out the day in race number 9, which also offers $5 golden hour daily double wagering. Look at this. A race originally scheduled for 1 mile on the turf, now 1 mile on the main track. Unfortunately, a number of scratches here. Program scratches of 1, 6, and 7. Also take out number 3, Zookeeper. Leaves us with a field of 4. Also, race 9 begins the $5 golden hour daily double wagering, if I didn't mention that already. Not much to pick from here. I hope you made your money before we get to the nightcap, Tim. Give us a winner to close it out.
I mean, this is another race. This is just a mad scramble. This is going to be a jockey's race. How are these guys going to ride?
Particularly with a smaller field.
Absolutely, 100%. The 8 just went wire to wire over the main track here, so that's got to be worth something. I like the 2. They took blinkers off and had a LASIK last time and took back and passed horses. Now that was on turf. How that's going to translate to dirt. Now he's got some dirt form in the past. Horse 1 at Del Mar. The 4's in good form. The 5 just broke his maiden. This is a mad scramble. I will say that I didn't love the way that the 5, he just barely got there in life and death last time against not a great field. And his 1 try over the dirt down at Del Mar, he got beat up pretty badly. So I don't know, 2-8.
Number 2, hacking it up, as Tim mentioned, not only was first-time LASIKs and blinkers off, but was also first-time gelling. We'll see if those 3 changes maybe made him a different horse. It certainly did last time. One thing I can tell you is we never hack it up whenever we have Tim Downs as our seminar guest. Tim, thanks so much for your insight today. I know that you're sticking around tomorrow for our $3,500 tournament, the Ultimate Betting Challenge. Make sure you look on our website, sanita.com or expressbet.com, if you want to compete against a Sharpie like Tim Downs and play for a lot of money on tomorrow's excellent cards from both Gulfstream Park and Santa Anita. Want to thank all of you for watching. Hope you learned a few things. Apply it to today's races. Keep in mind, next voice you hear will be track announcer Frank Miramati updating us with any late program changes. Have fun, everybody, and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, where the track is fast and we are off the turf, as noted in our program. Here are the changes. First race started a 50-cent early pick 5, scratch number 4, Ruby Nell, and with that scratch, no show wagering. Second begins the early pick 4, no changes. In the third race, number 8, Ashley's Sandcastle, 2 pounds over. Our fourth begins the Rainbow Pick 6 with 214,000 in the jackpot. Scratch number 4, Mentirosa. In the fifth, which was originally scheduled on the turf, scratch 2, Tempting Prospect. Scratch 5, Silver and Black. A revised morning line is posted. There is no super high 5 wagering in the start of the late pick 5. Scratch 2 and 5. Sixth race begins the late pick 4 with no changes. Seventh, originally scheduled on turf, scratch 3, Golden Temper. Scratch 7, Big Hopes. No high 5 wagering in the seventh. Eighth, the start of the Golden Hour pick 4, scratch number 6, Impossible Task. No high 5 wagering. And in the ninth, start of the Golden Hour double. We had 3 program scratches of 1, 6, and 7. In addition, scratch number 3, Zookeeper. With that scratch, there's no show wagering. Off the turf, originally scheduled for grass. Golden Hour double begins with race 9, scratch 1, 3, 6, and 7. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. 25 minutes to post. Keep in mind that tomorrow we have a mandatory payout in the Rainbow 6, pool estimated to reach approximately $3 million. And of course, throughout the weekend, we have the coast-to-coast pick 5s, both Saturday and Sunday. Great wagering opportunities both here and at Gulfstream Park, and combining the two through the coast-to-coast pick 5 tomorrow and Sunday. They'll be at the gate for the opener in 25 minutes at 12:30. Have a great day.